don't know you anymore. Anakin, you're breaking my heart. You're going down a path I can't follow.
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes. I went on the social medias today and I was talking about the cover that they have at DC Comics depicting Superman as a vampire, which I can call complete BS on because it's impossible to happen. And I wanted to talk to my good friend Perch, not only about whether or not Superman can actually be a vampire, which he can't, but some other things when I say BS on the comic book industry. How you doing, Perch?
I'm doing great. I'm doing better. You know, I was sick for a little while. I wasn't able to come on your show. I wasn't feeling too bad or too good. I had that Arby's and it just caused all kinds of problems.
Did you see that Arby's has a new cheesesteak? It's like,
I saw that.
It's authentic. It looks great.
That looks like no cheesecake I've ever seen in my life.
Cheesecake and cheesesteak.
Cheesesteak. Doesn't look like cake or cheesesteak. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yes. Superman is a vampire. He
can't be a vampire. He's literally, his cells are storing sunlight.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, they had that Superman vampire from another multiverse where, the world was working different. I guess you could do that where you got a multiverse of vampires but in this universe, no. Superman, yeah, I mean, his skin's impenetrable. So the mechanism to have him make a vampire would just be ridiculous. You'd have to put some magic on him. You have to weaken the skin, maybe put some lotion on there. Then the cells would have to reject.
It puts the lotion on the skin.
Yeah, exactly. This makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, there's been a time when he was bitten by Dracula. I saw the page. Someone posted it on the tweet, and this is what it is. It's Superman goes, "Oh, that was weird." And then he realized Dracula bit him as Dracula was exploding. Exactly like I said, there's no way.
It wouldn't work. No, I mean, the teeth would break off in you. And no part of this makes any sense. And plus you have Batman. Batman is your vampire. I mean, he's halfway there already. You make Batman a vampire.
Absolutely. And you know what's crazy? Everyone's like, whoa, he's vulnerable to magic. It's like, I don't care how magical of a damn vampire is. He's absolutely vulnerable to sunlight.
Well, and is a vampire magic exactly? Vampires are supernatural
monsters.
Character, but I don't know about magic.
Like it's not like Merlin made them,
Are we talking vampire wizards here? Is that what we're doing?
It's like Twilight or something. It's like that's not a real vampire. They don't sparkle.
No, that's a whole different kind of vampire.
That's a magical vampire. Real vampires don't sparkle, and if they bit Superman, they would explode like an enormous, like the blood god guy in what was that, Blade?
Yeah, no, this makes no sense. Superman vampire. Plus, I mean, there's so many reasons why this doesn't work. And who wants a vampire Superman anyway?
Well, yeah, of course, because he'd be absolutely unstoppable. But this isn't the only bullshit that we've gotten from the comic industry over the last decades.
Oh yeah.
Now we could go back to Superman, and there's a lot of weird stuff that happens in the Golden and Silver Age Superman.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We got grown women marrying babies and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Actually, some of those comics have not aged well. Like there's some call the FBI stuff in there.
Absolutely. So we'll skip that. We'll go to some more contemporary stuff. This is the first one. I hope most of these things, hopefully most people they forgot about it because they're such bullshit. The first one I wanted to discuss, Peter Parker's radioactive semen killing Mary Jane in Spider-Man Reign.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the creator who did that very much.
I like Gary Andrews.
But that feels like somebody was having a drinking game and they were playing a game of Top This.
They watched Watchmen, or they read Watchmen too many times.
Yeah, something was going on. I mean, it's funny. What spider semen? I don't know, and that's not how. Like I was about to say it's not how spider semen normally works, but you know what? I don't know.
You're the expert.
Maybe it does. All I don't know is that was a terrible, terrible storyline. Yes. Funny.
People don't know this, Perch, but while you were at university, you did a 3-year study on spider semen. And there's nobody I would go to as my go-to information source and expert on spider semen other than you.
That's true. My doctorate was going to be about spider semen, but then I got addicted to meth.
Unfortunately, you would have been the world's foremost expert.
I could have saved so many lives. Yeah.
Here's the thing. All right, even if the spider is radioactive, Perch,
sure,
it's only this big.
Yeah,
he's only going to be like radiating so much. It's not like Peter's just going to be full of radiation the rest of his life. He's not Dr. Manhattan. You know what I mean? He's not Dr. Adam or Captain Adam, whatever his name is.
I mean, we've seen how with the organic web fluid shooters, we've seen how much comes out of there. So this could be like a Braziers moment where, you don't know how much is being produced.
Well, I don't know how much, but I'm just saying it wouldn't be radioactive. It's like the spider wasn't that dangerous. It's not like he's a radioactive, like a nuclear power plant or something. It's just a little spider.
What's the half-life on radioactive semen anyway? Is it...
well, radioactive spider semen is just a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah, I guess so. So I don't know how long it'll be stored there. Plus, you'd think that before you even got to that point, Mary Jane be like, why is your junk look all like green and deformed? Like, I think there'd be a Cronenberg kind of moment when you took off his pants. I mean, it wouldn't just be stored in there safely. It would be the whole thing would be disgusting.
What's wrong with your dong, and why do you have web shooters in your wrist? It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I agree. No, that's not going to work for Mary Jane. A high class model and actress. She's not going to go for that. She's going to be like, you know what? I can do a lot of things, but I'm tapping out here with the weird little elephant you have down there.
You know what's crazy on this list? Most of these creators are well known and well respected, and I respect Carrie Andrews. But what the hell was he thinking? Like he must have lost a bet.
It's funny. He's a good guy. Now that the border's open, I got to go buy that guy a beer. I'll ask him. Next time
you go to Canada, you're gonna get beat.
No. Next time we come back.
It's not Australia. Never mind.
Not Australia. Canada. They couldn't beat anybody if they wanted to.
Well, yeah, I'm American. Yeah. Nobody could have put me down.
I'll be fine. I'll distract him with some Arby's so they won't know what hit him.
So this is, man, why do you always got to disrespect Arby's, man? They have an authentic cheesesteak.
I've taken Wes off the rails. All right.
My goodness. So this next one is a little bit better known than Peter Parker's radioactive spider semen. We've got Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver's twincest. We also end up having the Blob eating Wasp in Ultimates 3 and Ultimatum. We'll give them both to Jeff Loeb. We also had Joe Bad on one of those stories, I believe.
Yeah, Ultimates 3, yeah. David Finch on the other. So it was a pretty high class art team there. I actually would love to see, I mean, I met both of those individuals. I think Joe Mad probably found that pretty funny when he got that script. Just kind of the whole thing, I'm sure was, I mean, it's an excuse to draw Wanda's boobs. So, I mean, he was going to be fine. But I would have loved to have seen Finch's face when he got the script and it said, now you draw a panel of the Blob eating the Wasp. Yeah, that would have been a moment I would have loved to see preserved. Just what did he think when he got this? I mean, it had to be like, I'm cashing the check and whatever.
Was Jeff Loeb just trying to go edgy? Was he, did he have an inferiority complex of Frank Miller? What the hell happened here?
It was edgy. I mean, the whole setup is that the Blob showed up at Ultimates 3, and he went to attack. Although I don't remember if it was a Blob or it was a robot Blob. It may have been a robot Blob because the Ultron robot was making robot Avenger. Anyway, I don't recall now whether it was the real one or not. But anyway, the Blob shows up and basically starts taunting the Wasp with, you look good, I'm going to eat you, and it's just being gross. But then Loeb, I think when Ultimatum came around, he's like, I'm going to pay off that joke. And sure enough, he, basically New York City floods. The Blob finds the Wasp somehow and manages to grab and just start chowing down on her stomach. And then gets picked up by Hank Pym, and Hank Pym bites his head off. So there's a lot of cannibalism in that.
Yes.
Yeah. Significant.
Actually, maybe it's Mark Miller that really set the bar up, because you go and you read Ultimates. Sure. And you got like the Hank Pym Wasp relationship is really strange. She's laying eggs in the bed, and he's like spraying her with bug spray and getting his ants to kill her and stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's abuse. In the Millar version, it's just kind of basic domestic abuse, and he's leaning
basic harder. Domestic abuse.
Well, not the tricky robot torture kind, but just, well, I don't know what I'm saying here, but he's basically taking the Hank Pym storyline, he's going further with it, but it's and I'm not, that's a different world, I think, than twincest cannibalism, but
Twincest doesn't even make sense. It's never been hinted in the relationship of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver before this that they're banging at each other. They have any type of a love for each other that's outside of brother and sisterly love.
So the basically in Millar's version, he hints that Quicksilver is overprotective of Wanda. Again, it's almost an exaggeration of what was in the real comics. In real comics, Quicksilver Wanda for a period of time. Just like Hank Pym, there was this backhanded slap that got basically defined his character. And so when the Ultimates came around, Millar leaned heavily into more of the domestic abuse. Maybe not basic, I guess, if he's using spray to torture her, but anyway. And then on the overprotective stuff, he tilted a little bit to make it more creepy. Because in the Ultimates, it just came across as he wasn't just overprotective; it was super overprotective. But I think where Millar was going with it was just that he was kind of overbearing brother, overbearing twin, and maybe to a crazy degree. And even in the Ultimates, they had the characters like, I don't know what's going on there, like hinting like, oh, maybe something is going on there. Maybe it's.
Yeah, I love the face on Captain America when he realizes those two are banging.
Yeah, that's a good drawn page. Yeah, Mad did a good job on that.
What the fuck?
But then Loeb then took it like the extra 3 steps. It was kind of like Millar was kind of making this joke that you could read into it that way, but it could just be overprotective. You couldn't really tell. And then Loeb's like, screw the joke. I'm just going to explain it. They're banging.
This is terrible. Now this next one.
Yeah.
This is when you think of like putting a creative team together. I can't think of anything more exciting than Frank Miller and Jim Lee on All-Star Batman and Robin. And then when you get the damn comic book, listen, I'm not saying Bruce Wayne Batman is a healthy individual. I'm not saying that he's well adjusted, but he's not like an abusive father. And here he's like torturing Robin. He's making him eat rats and shit. Like, what the hell that's bullshit.
Well, Frank Miller was horny when he was writing that book. I mean, they have the script out there. You can find it pretty easily. They've got lots of sites have posted the script that he gave to Jim Lee. And Frank Miller was super horny when he was writing.
He wrote, "Oh, me so horny," like on the script.
He wrote like, "She's got an ass. I mean, a real ass. We want to really dive into that ass, Jim. Give it a good ass." And it's like, you read this, you're like, wow, he needed to rub one out because yeah. So I think there was a lot of horny that went into this. And I think when there wasn't horny, it was let's kind of have some fun making Bruce as crazy as humanly possible. And so it was like make him eat rats, let him have who did he bang on it was Black Canary that he banged on the hood of the Batmobile. For a while I was saying Huntress, but that would be his daughter from another dimension. So that's kind of gross. But it's not Jeff Loeb writing this. Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot in there that's just bizarre. That All-Star Batman and Robin has really been one hell of a time capsule of comics.
Is that the most disappointing? Like when you think about the creative team on that one, Frank Miller, perhaps the greatest Batman writer of all times. I would disagree with that, but a lot of people would make that case. Jim Lee, one of the greatest illustrators of all time. A lot of people would say he is the greatest comic artist of all time. You put him on a Batman comic, and it's awful.
Well, yeah, I think that was a very big disappointment for sure. I think there was the series he did after Hush on Superman. That was with Brian Azzarello, I think, right? It was Azzarello. Yeah. That one I think was shittier. Brian
Azzarello is not Frank Miller. He's like two steps below.
No, but I mean, it was coming off of this Hush story, which was just so it was so big. And that's Jeff Loeb, of course, who didn't have incest in that particular comic, which is nice.
Well, it would have been better if it's a little incest, Perch. Add throw a little spice in there, make it taste better.
Damien didn't exist back then, so no options. But I think that Azzarello Jim Lee one was worse because the Frank Miller Jim Lee one. It did, if you as a reader were able to pivot from, I was expecting some kind of serious masterpiece to, hey, this is just some crazy fun. It did deliver crazy fun.
It's like the human centipede of comic books.
Yeah. I mean, it's a train wreck. It's a train wreck worth reading. I mean, the other stuff, again, I love Kari Andrews. I think you can be forgiven if you miss that book. Same thing with Ultimates 3. If you just stop at Ultimates 2, you could die happy. It's complete.
You don't want to go the forbidden door to Ultimates 3. Don't walk through it. That's
just a door you don't need to go through. I think you can. You do want to check out Frank Miller, Jim Lee, Batman and Robin, though. That's something worth checking out.
Just how far Frank Miller can take Batman.
Oh, it's
over the edge.
It's a laugh a minute. It's
the feel-good comedy of the year.
Feel-good, absolutely.
All right, so this next one, I'm going Joe Quesada. Everyone's like, oh, we must be talking about One More Day or Since Past. I'm not talking about that. I'm not even going to talk about Hydra Cap or Heroes in Crisis. That's chalk. We talk about that shit enough on the channel. Sure. Hopefully, most people have forgotten about this story. They didn't even know it exists. It's called.
Bring it back up again.
No. It's called The Mask in the Iron Man. Do you remember this one?
No. What's that? What was it? Tell me more about
Tony Stark's armor falls in love with him.
Oh yes,
and abuses him.
Yes, yeah. That was some peak stupid right there. Yeah, that was the AI falls in love with Tony and gets very possessive and horny.
And it kills who's it kill? It kills Whiplash. It kills Tony's girlfriend, because it's jealous. And then when Tony blames the armor, he puts on another armor. Yeah. And the armor thinks he's cheating on it with the other armor and kidnaps him and put him on an island. And it turns into like 50 Shades of Iron Man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. He goes to that deserted island. Yeah, that was a terrible story. That has been memory hold.
I accidentally found this. I was like looking for good Iron Man stories. And this is one of the ones that I could order from, what is it? I can't remember the name of the bookstore here. I'll remember here in a second. And this is the one I ordered. What is this?
That would be a disappointment. Yeah, that was going to be the script for Iron Man 3, but they went with the extremist stuff instead.
They're pussies. This is the one you go for.
Yeah, I agree. I think that sets up a storyline in the future that we should do where, I think we learn that Tony Stark flies around that Iron Man armor naked.
Oh, absolutely. He's getting service the whole time.
Sure. Yeah. Just that's why he's so happy and everything else. And then he comes up with this idea that he can have the armor be camouflaged. But every now and then it malfunctions and it's just invisible. So you got this naked guy flying through the air, beating up on stuff, which would be just hilarious.
Beating up on stuff, huh?
Come on, Marvel. I mean, it can't be. Look, everything we've just talked about, including the romance angle with the armor, is still better than this absolutely shitty Catwell run route we're getting right now.
It is a step up over the Catwell run. At least the armor doesn't nag him to death, right?
I would bring that storyline back and have a sequel where there's like a second armor that's also in love with him. We can have like a triangle situation. Yes, like anything to get us out of this terrible current storyline.
Joe Quesada, a lot of people hold him in high esteem, and I get it, I guess, to a degree. When he was editor-in-chief, he did some good things, but just between this thing, and if you haven't read it, go read it. You got to, because you can't believe this exists. And One More Day, obviously we got Sid's Past out there. He's done a lot of bad things.
Yeah, no, he's a monster. Yeah.
Oh man, but that was a weird one.
That was the signs were all there that he was gonna absolutely destroy everything. I mean, it was Spider-Man and Iron Man. Like, what next? Like, we just need to feel lucky he never got his hands on Cap.
Yeah, well, we needed Tony to get his drinking problem back, and then the Iron Man suit, and like, you're just not good enough for me anymore.
I think
we're gonna move on.
I pitched this idea to Joe. He wasn't as into it, but it was that Tony Stark gets claustrophobia. The only way to recover from his claustrophobia is to be drunk all the time. And so that's what happens. And the storyline is called Freedom in a Bottle.
Freedom in a Bottle is the only way he could become Iron Man again.
Yeah. I think it's genius. Again, better than what we're currently getting.
Absolutely. It'd be quite the step up. This last one, I think a lot of people probably know this story, although there's not a lot to it, but just the idea of it in and of itself is bad. This is Dan Slott, and you're going to be like, Wes, you're bringing the Iron Man 2020. Nah, we don't. We talked about Iron Man 2020.
No, that was just boring and stupid. Yeah.
Let's talk about Glicksmith's #1.
Oh yeah.
What is that? Great Lakes X-Men or not X-Men?
Great Lakes Avengers. Yeah.
Avengers. Yes. Yeah. Squirrel Girl defeats Thanos.
Yeah.
Now that's some bullshit if I've ever seen bullshit.
Well, I mean, she defeated Galactus too. And I think there was something where she defeated Eternity. There was one of those where she like punched him in the face. So yeah, I mean, this was back in the time period where I guess we're still in that time period where the villains didn't matter whatsoever. And it was all about kind of visual gags. I think a lot of people had gone, I blame Joss Whedon, because people would watch Firefly and watch some of these things, and they would frequently do this gag where looks like impossible odds and the heroes are overwhelmed. And then they just boop on the nose and no problem. See, it just took one little punch and we defeated everything. And the comic writers are like, holy shit, this is who wants to see battles? This is what we've been waiting for. And so then Squirrel Girl became kind of the recipient of that, where they just had her going and mowing down everyone. And look how easy it is. And of course, this was a great decision for Marvel and their IP.
Listen, unless she put on some kids that were like studded with Infinity Stones and kicked Thanos in the balls, it's just not happening. Unless
Thanos had stopped and had some Arby's and wasn't
feeling it. If I know Thanos, and I know Thanos, if he ate one of those authentic cheesesteaks, he would be more powerful than ever. He wouldn't even need the Infinity Stones.
Jesus.
He'd just be like hyped up on the spicy, authentic prime rib cheesesteak.
Do you know how many people have signed me up for the Arby's mailing list? I keep having to unsubscribe. Thanks.
Well,
thanks, people. Yeah,
I know you weren't feeling well lately, and you know, just think about how much better you would feel if you let Arby's back in your life.
Yeah, it'd kill me.
Open up your heart, let Arby's come in. Your life will be better.
I don't even know what to say. Yeah, my body is a temple, Wes. That's a problem.
Come on, exactly. You need some of that spicy, authentic cheesesteak. But Squirrel Girl defeating Thanos, like it's
stupid. Yeah,
it's beyond stupid. It makes a joke of Thanos. It's like when you're watching that stupid Loki show and they pull out the drawer and there's a dozen Infinity Stones. You're like, oh yeah, these things they don't actually, they're not powerful. And you're like, why the fuck was I just why did I watch the previous 20 movies?
It's funny. See, it's hilarious.
But it's not. It's like you just wasted my time.
It's really not. No, it's designed so people who are casually watching this stuff can go, oh, look at this is funny. Owen Wilson's got an Infinity Stone and just hanging out in his drawer is wacky.
Like we use them as paperweights. Like,
yeah. What? It's so great. Yay.
So yeah, no, I think
this is good.
We pointed out some good bullshit, just as far as comic books.
So much more
looks like we mostly got Marvel. That wasn't on purpose. I probably should have got another DC story in there, but Batman, All-Star Batman and Robin's bad enough. But can you think of anything else quick where you're like, man, that was some bullshit?
No, there's so many. What I think is that we need a sequel. So let's come back and do it again. I'll get 5 more. There's so much bullshit in comics. Are you kidding me? There's tons. We got Supergirl's horse being horny for her. We've got there's all kinds of things.
Supergirl's horse? That sounds sexy.
Supergirl had a horse pony called Comet who was trying to get with her forever. I mean, the horse was a person that turned into a centaur and then just a horse. And then they actually tried dating for a little while. I'm not making any of this shit up. This happened. Yeah.
My goodness. Well, at least they didn't go all the way. I accidentally saw a video once and it didn't look good.
Yeah. They maybe they did. Maybe we don't know.
Yeah, not everything's shown on the page, Perch.
I mean, we have Aunt May being super horny when she was a teenager and fathering Peter Parker. That was the thing.
Yeah, that's so strange.
Yeah, there's tons out there. Are you kidding me?
We definitely need a sequel of some more bullshit in comic books. Maybe we'll do your list next time. I'm sure you got some better stuff than I did. Hopefully I brought in some oldies but goodies. It sounded like you had forgotten about the mask and the Iron Man.
I forgot about that title. Yeah, I absolutely remember Horny Armor though. That was
Radioactive Semen.
I mean, I love you, Kari. I don't know what you're doing, but I love you.
Hey, listen. Eric Canetti is a good friend of the channel, great artist. He whiffed on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think even he would admit that one.
It's these things happen to people, and I understand. We can poke fun and laugh.
Absolutely. Perch, I do want to say thank you very much. Obviously, we hadn't had you on the channel here in a while, but you will be on the Aficionado Saturday, it sounds like, so that'll be fun.
I hope so.
And,
I will not eat Arby's ahead of time, so I'm healthy and safe before I get there.
You won't be happy. We're going to get dour sourpuss perch because he hasn't had an authentic cheesesteak.
I'll be coming after the Friday stream, and also I'll be drinking.
You'll be hungover.
Drinking. Yeah, you don't stop. That's the secret. Anyway.
And tomorrow, Perch might be here too. We're still working that one out. But thank you very much, buddy. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you.